Back in May of last year, had a discussion about the sexual marketplace. A lot of people don't believe there is such a thing, but we see evidence of it all the time. Certain attributes that a person possesses make them more likely to be a dating candidate than someone who doesn't have those qualities or maybe has a less amount of those qualities. And it's led to this conversation. Are older women competing with younger women for men? We'll get into that and more on this episode of Talk to Q. Buckle up.
P2Q Radio.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
What's going on, people? I want to welcome all of you to Talk to Q. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. And today is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. And I am coming to you live from an undisclosed location in the crib. All right. So, on this evening's show, we're going to discuss if older women feel like they're competing with younger women for men. We'll also get into a couple of other topics, including the meme of the week. So we'll go ahead and get after it. This is episode number 1005. Let me go to the T2Q virtual phone lines to see who will be joining the mix this evening. This is an all female roundtable. So this is a What Women Think Volume 4 episode. And I will start here and go to my home state, the Magnolia State of Mississippi. And welcome back the sensible sister herself, Miss Ashley D. Ashley, what it do?
What's up? I'm so glad I can make it on tonight. You know I love being a part of your show.
You know what? I appreciate it. I really do. And good to see you. So let me travel up north to where it's probably a little chilly this evening, at least by my southern standards, and go to the Wolverine state of Michigan. And welcome on Miss Chandra B. Chandra, what's happening?
Hey Q, how are you? Thank you for
I'm doing
having me.
well. Thank you for
Um,
joining. I see you got the hair tied up. I thought about doing mine like that tonight, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna fool with it.
that might hurt just a little bit, Q. I love the jacket though. I love the jacket. That's nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's actually a polo. You probably can't see it all the way, but
Oh,
it's a
that's
polo.
that's nice.
That
I
Thank you
is
like
very
that.
much.
nice.
It's courtesy of Miss Chrissy Cipher
Okay.
from the Cipher Knowledge Podcast. She has a website. Oh, what is it called? Create to See. Oh my goodness, she's gonna hurt me. I can't remember the name of the website, but she does a good job.
She
So,
does.
all right. So I will go to the peach state of Georgia and welcome back this young lady, Miss Tashura. What's happening?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Q. Thank you for having me. I still ain't got no intro, but okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it takes hard work. It takes
I'm going to
hard
make my
work.
own intro. Okay. How about that?
All right. And I have someone sneaking in. Let me go to the volunteer state of Tennessee and welcome on this young lady. I interviewed her, I think, earlier this year, but this is her first time as a guest. And let me welcome on Miss Decoya in Tennessee. What's going on?
Hey,
All right. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the show. Looks like you in the middle of working.
I am.
Okay. All right. Well, good to see you. All right. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Shout out to TK's Chronicle of a Black Sheep in the chat room and Wes Anderson. Shout out to Wes Anderson on YouTube, who's already answered the question to the topic of the show. Short answer to the topic: yes, for a long time. All right.
Mm.
So let's get to the question that he is talking about. And you know, a man over 40, this is what the discussion is about. A man over 40 is more likely to date and marry a much younger woman than an older woman is to date a younger man. Now, I guess for whoever wants to answer, do you think that's accurate? First of all, let me start there. Whoever wants to answer, do you think it's accurate that an older man will marry a younger woman quicker than an older woman will marry a younger man?
Depends on the man and
Yeah.
his. I'm not gonna say his maturity level, but his experiences.
But I mean, just in general, do you think, on average, like 50% of the time, 40%
With
of
these
the
men
time?
nowadays, I don't know.
Right.
Um,
You see a lot of older men, marrying younger women now. I know a lot of them say it's because of the youth, but it's like they're looking at youth as age instead of just like I'm 31 and I feel like I'm very youthful still. Even though, my check engine light for my knees come on here and there. But
Mm.
I still like to have fun now.
Yeah, I guess everyone doesn't have Megan's knees, but I feel you on that. So I
but
mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was once said by someone, not gonna say his name, he's not even with us anymore, but he was saying that older men in their 50s date younger women because they're more cooperative. Some men may date younger women for the fact that they can shape and mold them, and they haven't had a lot of experiences like women my age, whereas they haven't probably haven't been married and divorced and developed the quote unquote bitter women syndrome. They're not too stuck in their ways or what have you. So from that perspective, it has been said that men tend to date younger women. um I could read to you something somebody sent me explaining why men his age, which I think is about 52 or 53, and he told me his last girlfriend was 21, which is
Ooh.
younger than his daughter. So yeah.
I mean, in a nutshell, what did he say? What was the reason?
um Basically, um I'm trying to sum this up. He basically says social media has given people a wider selection to choose from, so it's made many men overly picky. Um, and if you want someone these days, you have to compete for their attention. He was basically telling me that women my age, I'm 48, we have to compete with 20-year-old women for men his age, which is around 53, which I'm not competing with anyone my daughter's age. I'm not competing with anyone, period. I am my only
I know that's
competition.
right.
Mm. Okay. And let's see. Wes says different fun for different ages.
Mm-hmm.
And TK says they like that trophy on their arm, makes them look and feel like they still got it. And so, all right. So, with all that being said, are older women in a competition for younger women when it comes to getting a mature man? And
I've
I'll
seen
start.
some people. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say, Decoria, are you able to hear me? Decoria, can you hear me? I don't think she's able to hear me. Go ahead, Ashley.
I was just gonna say, I myself, and I know a number of other women that do not do all the competing with younger women because I know what I bring to the table, and I can walk into a room and my presence is just gonna speak for itself. I never have to compete with anybody. Like I said, I know I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, but I do know somebody that has done that. And it's like to me, I try to talk to women like that. Like it's not that like you're trying to look in a different pool where I guess your person isn't even in. Like you're trying to fit this narrative that society wants you to be in when all you have to do is simply be yourself. And the man that's meant for you, he'll gravitate to you. It's like a lot of people are pushing to do this and that by a certain age. If it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen at that age. Like I used to push to be married before I turned 25. I'm 31 and now I'm kind of like I'm ready on my own terms now, not just pushing that age that society pushed down on me, growing up from a little girl. Do I want to be married? Yes, one day. Am I in a rush to get married? No.
All right,
Not even a little bit.
let me play devil's advocate on something because I love to do it. On something that you said when you said that people just need to be themselves.
Mhm.
Um, Guys talk, okay, and one of the things we talk about are what we call clones. Every woman looks alike. All right, well, and I say everybody, I don't mean generally. Just in general. You see women with the same style eyebrows, the same eyelashes, the same look, so to speak.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and then social media kind of feeds into that because people want to do what they see other people do. So, is individualism a problem? And maybe that's the reason why some people can't stand out more so than others when it
I
comes to,
feel
I
like
guess,
it.
this competition, so to speak.
Yes. Everything wants to be like the aesthetic that you see all these Instagram models and what people that have their OnlyFans and stuff like that. They want to be just like they see the people online. Like when people think about self-care, they don't think about like loving themselves and like getting to know themselves and stuff like that. They think of the way they look and how
Mhm.
they are presenting themselves for others, when it's really deeper than that. Like you can look real good, like you can look good as hell, but if you're not together on the inside, none of that is going to help your outer appearance at all, so to speak, to me.
Facts.
All right, Chandra, Tashura, y'all got something to add to that? When it comes to individualism, I guess, so to speak.
I'm an individual. I ain't got no eyelashes. I ain't got no baby hairs. I ain't got no lace front. I ain't even got no makeup on. Now we ain't gonna talk about my eyebrows because I did fill them in, but I ain't got them Dr. Spock eyebrows where you walk around looking like you always so um it's what the media is portraying. That's what people are trying to be. They're telling you you have to look like this to get this kind of man. And I guess that's why the guy told me I need to focus on being in the gym for a year.
Wow,
What?
that's rude.
Oh yeah, he just said focus on, because I do want to tone up. It's not like I look like the blob or anything. I do have problem areas, but he was telling me like focus on getting in the gym for a year and hitting it real hard so I can get out here and compete with the 20-year-olds with the perfect bodies. Well, number one, they ain't had two kids. I did. And my
Okay.
kids are in their 20s. So again, I can't see myself competing with my daughter for a man that's old enough to be her father. And
Mhm.
if that dude wants a woman that aged, in my mind, okay, I know it's gonna sound weird, but in my mind, that's like child molestation to me because I got kids that age. And I'm like, I can't even look at a 20-year-old guy. Like everybody be like, "Ooh, Chris Brown, he's so fine," and I'll be like, "That's a baby." That's because he's my son's age.
Hmm.
So I couldn't even deal with a man that would deal with a woman that young. It's just like for me, something is not clicking. That's just me though. So no, I'm individual and I'm gonna stay an original individual.
All right, all right. And TK said that she says, I think women are in competition, period. There's a shortage of men. All right, that's what she says. Now, Wes just said something pretty interesting. Wes says it takes more energy to get to know someone, so people focus on looks. Is
Mm-hmm.
that what
Mhm.
is that the problem for us guys? I mean, are we just too fixated on looks and we just want to rush to get the goods that everything else really doesn't matter, and that's why we choose the way we do?
Yep. For some, and that's why you end up with what you end up getting. Because I know a guy, because I've been asking this question to men. He talked to a younger woman. She was 10 years younger. He said he'll never talk to a woman 10 or 20 years younger again. Because what eventually ends up happening is they get bored with the old man and they start dipping with men their age. So
Mhm. And Chandra?
I think that along the lines with what Ashley and Tashura is saying, I think that in essence, if we want to say we're in competition, we're all in competition. But at the end of the day, we all have preferences as well. So someone that likes someone shaped like me, look like me, is gonna come for me. Someone that likes people that look and are shaped like Tashura are going to go for her. The same thing with Ashley. So for me, you know, I had a coworker that I used to hang out with when I was in Atlanta, and she was, you know, about the same height as me, but really, really petite, darker complected. And I told her, I said, you know, and we were 10 years in difference, about 10 or 12 years in difference. And I'm like, she was like, you're so, you know, so confident and secure with yourself, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, because whoever likes you, gonna like you. Whoever gonna like me is gonna like me. I don't compete in that way. Like I don't have, I always say this: women don't really have choice. We do, but we don't have a choice that if you old school like me, who I don't go after men. So if you old school like me, you got to pick from who pick you. And so there are men that like what I look like, and that's just the bottom line. And then I get to choose between those guys, which one of those I like the best, because they probably aren't what I like. They probably not in my preference, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, because I don't go after men, then that's what happened. But I want to go back to your first question, which is, excuse me, are men more likely to date or be with younger women than women? I mean, I think if you would have asked that question 10 years ago, you would have got the answer you wanted, which is, yeah, men typically are more likely to marry or date seriously younger women. But I see a lot of women that are dating men that are 10 years younger than them.
Okay.
And ain't getting married. You know, if you think about, I mean, they may or may not last, but like even if you think about the celebrities, what's her name? That married Jason Momoa, whatever his name was.
Woo,
you know,
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, but you know, he was 10 years or so younger than her. There are a lot of women. Tina Turner, her husband is like 20 years younger than her. You know, there are a lot of women that date younger men. It is becoming more of an acceptable norm and that's another reason why I'm not in competition. And then there's some younger men that got their stuff better together than men my age. And so if you can come correct and if you mature, I don't care what your age is, just like when it used to be the flip. And I 125 million% agree with Tashura when she said, if you dating somebody and you have an actual child, now not necessarily my child, but if you have an actual child and your child is the woman you dating is younger than your child, yeah, I have like I can't even me and you can't even kick it, because to me that's just nasty.
You creepy.
I mean, because I have a young daughter, so then what? When when my daughter get to a certain age, you're gonna start looking. See, so I can't like, to me, I can't do that. Like there's a difference between younger, 5 years, 10 years younger, but once you start getting 15 and 20 years younger than you, I just think I can't do it. I can't even kick it with you. You can't even really be my friend if that's how you roll. So values, it's a value system for me.
Yep.
All right. And TK says, yeah, I'm not about to play keeping up with the younger crowd. My knees ain't Megan's, and I need my hip to stay functional. Tashura said, I got Margaret knees.
I do. I got Margaret knees. You know what? If you want to go back a little further, I got Mary Magdalene knees. Okay, I can drop it like it's hot, but that come up gonna be cold. Okay.
You know what?
If you drop it right, you ain't gotta come back up. You just
boom. Hey.
And I volunteered to be the only guy. Okay. So all right. So do you think there's any animosity between the generations of women? Do younger women feel animosity towards the older women who may be side-eyeing them because, Mr. Earl is checking her out? Ashley, what you think? You think there's some animosity from the younger women towards the older women, or maybe towards your generation?
I'm not gonna say I've really experienced it for real, but it keeps leading me back to what I didn't want to say earlier.
Go on, say it.
Well, about I want to say 5 or 6 years ago.
Mid-20s, okay.
I wasn't as out of shape as I am now. You know, I had a nice body, big old booty, you know, slim waist.
Mm.
And I would go out here and there with a few ladies. And one lady in particular, you know, she did get her body done. And she told me to myself, like to my face, I had to because everybody was looking at you. And she is a lot older than me. But you know, I was like, that ain't what's drawing them to me. You know, I'm first of all, I'm really tall, and then when we would go out, we would wear heels, so I'm going to draw attention anyway. You know, just off of that, and like I'm always like the person that's always happy and bringing a lot of energy, like dancing into a room. You know, I'm loud. So they're gonna look at me, and you know, I'm very inviting. This is when I was drinking a lot too. So I'd be at the bar like, come on, let's get some shots. Let's get some shots. Buy the whole bar shot. So guess what else fixing to happen? All the guys around, yeah, they're fixing to buy shots because they think that we're about to get drunk and they're about to get lucky. But I had a great
Right.
granddaddy that trained me well. When you have to use the bathroom, you go use the bathroom because you let the alcohol sit on you. You gonna get real drunk. And you know what? At the end of the night, they don't want to deal with me no way because they say I'm doing too much. I didn't get drunk enough for them, you know? So it wasn't that. It was just my aura, my
Charisma.
presence being, yes. all
But
of
she
that
thought
being
it
in the
was your
room.
body.
Yes. Yes.
But
Okay.
that's because, and I'm sorry to jump in, but that's because magazines tell you that that's what people look for, right? That's
Yes,
when.
they do.
How many people do you see on magazines that average look, average body, average whatever? You don't see that. What they show you is people that look a certain way. And then they, if they were in person, most of them don't even look like that. That's airbrushed, and you don't, you know. But we thinking we getting that these people really look like that, and maybe some of them do, some of them don't. But there's still some airbrushedness to that. Like, you know, as Black women, we typically have moles, but on the page of on the model, they all smooth skin and no moles, no freckles, no specks. That's not real. That's not authentic. And you know, if that's what you want, then and really honestly, if that's what you're attracted to and only what you're attracted to, then have at it. Because that chick don't want you no way. Go
But
get your face cracked.
The thing is, like you said, attracted to. So a lot of these women go get their bodies done. I got a story about that if you let me tell you. But a
Let's
lot
hear
of these women go get their bodies done to attract a man. But that's not what attaches a man to you. It may attach him temporarily, but in the long run, after you bring ass and lashes to the table, what else do you have? Because eventually all that gets old. And I was told that by a man. A pretty face, big ass gets old, especially if you got an attitude problem.
Yep.
So speaking of these bodies and older women getting their bodies done to compete with women Ashley's age, I'm 48. And I was walking in the liquor store 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. Was it last week, Q? Last week? I sent you the message.
I think so.
So last week I'm walking in the liquor store. Don't judge me. But I needed some stuff for a project. And I'm in line. This guy is following me through the store. And he's on the phone with a chick. So he says, she fine, she beautiful, but she need ass implants. Talking about me. He FaceTimes the girl because she like, let me see. You can hear her. Ghetto, right? And so she was like, who is that? My thing is, number one, he had to be my son's age. He sounded like he didn't have anything above a 5th grade education. And bruh, you look like you needed a bath 2 weeks ago. So you wouldn't be my caliber of dude anyway. And then you got Bonquisha on the phone who probably do all this when she talk. Why is you know, if I was an insecure woman, I probably would do something like that, thinking it would get me what I want. But what it probably would get me is what I've been seeing over the last 5 to 10 years upon research and people that has done this. It'll probably get me landed in the hospital with an infection or dead. So I'm happy that my pockets touch. I'm all good. As long as my butt ain't blending in with my back, Just call me Pockets in the streets, okay?
And you know, and you sent me that photo
Yes,
of the
today.
young lady that had the butt implants, and it didn't appear to go well. And I can share the photo if you all want to see it. I will say it is kind of hard to look at. So if you're one of the people who are squeamish, and turn your head now. But this is the photo that she sent of everything gone wrong. And it's like, okay, yeah, it when you look at things like that, it's definitely not worth it to have
That was a back alley
something
job.
like that done. Yeah, I
That
mean,
was
some
back alley
people
for real.
get desperate and they just do whatever. But I just got an interesting comment from Wes. He says younger women are more hard headed to mold. So an older female who completely understands you is good. Therefore, you don't waste energy to try to mold an older female who has life experience. And so, all right.
Yeah, because they out
And
there with this period poo. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm independent.
and also, let's see. My man chimed in from Pensacola, Florida on this one. He said, the woman isn't natural. I don't want her.
Mm.
All right.
I went
Rest
natural all the way down to the hair.
So, and that's the thing. And like the guys that I know who are more marriage minded, or guys who are married, you know, when we have discussions, they tend to prefer natural women. Now, again, you know, if someone who's had work done, will you look? Yes, of course. I was talking to Shura before the show. You know, I'll look at a Lamborghini, but I don't want one. You know, so yeah, there's kind of a difference. But guys who are more into the single life, looking for a quick hookup, things of that nature, they tend to go for that type of stuff. Yeah, do your body up because you're doing it for those guys, essentially. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for those guys who are in that life, looking for a quick hit or something, then you know, doing your body up will get it done.
And you
But
gotta keep doing your body.
yeah, but I just, me personally, and I'm speaking as a dude, of course, I just wouldn't want to have to go through all those changes to find someone, because if it takes that for me to find somebody, you know, what is it going to take for them to, you know, to stay with me? I mean, throughout the years, I got to maintain a certain look, or they're going to go elsewhere if that's what attracted them. That's just kind of how I look at it. And so, all right, all right. I want to jump into something else really quick and talk about. I know you all probably have heard about the whole Neil Long thing with the Boston Celtics coach. What's his name? Ime Udoka, I think. I don't know how you pronounce it. And I've been looking at people talk about, oh, he cheated on Neil Long. How can you cheat on Neil Long and all this everything? So my question, I just want to throw it to you ladies and see what you got to say about it. Can you be too attracted to be cheated on? Because that's the impression that I get from everybody who says that he shouldn't cheat on Neil Long. And I'll start with you, Tashura.
Has nothing to do with looks. That's what women, because it's majority women saying this stuff. It has nothing to do with looks, especially if you got a jacked up attitude. You don't know what that man going through at home. So we don't know if it was his fault, if it was her fault. Well, actually, it's both of their fault. It could be both of their fault. But you could be the most beautiful. I mean, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, and I know people keep. It has nothing to do with looks. It could be that man's insecurities, you know, because there are some insecure men running around here that wasn't that dude in high school, and now they get a little money. You know, they got a nice car, nice house. They can dress better. They can smell good. They can probably look a little better, because if you was ugly then, you're probably ugly now. Or maybe they grew out the ugly. I don't know. But they're still dealing with those insecurities from high school. So they moving like they're going to try to make up for all they didn't get in high school. Now that they got this money, I can get the, you know, prettier girl. Well, hey, if I can get Beyonce, that means I can get something higher than Beyonce. It's like they always trying to look for better, and they have the best. So with that whole Nia Long situation, I don't know the backstory, but from what I heard was she didn't want to get married, but said yes to an engagement, and they've been engaged for 10 years. Make that make sense. So that's just my opinion because I really don't know it, but looks has nothing to do with whether a man will cheat on you or not.
All right. And Ashley, Chandra, what do you all think?
Well, I don't really know about it. I know I've seen a couple of tweets, but I'm not going to sit up here and say I know the situation because I look at a lot of that stuff as a way for them to capitalize on it. Feed us the drama, bring them back to being relevant again. So I don't really dig off deep in it. Like when Kevin Gates and the whole Kevin Gates and Drika thing, like I follow them seriously. Q, I'm a big fan. They, it's a lot of stuff that they go through, but Kevin's not going to speak on it until he has healed from it. They're good. They did that to sell an album and also boost her website visit so she can make money. That's why I don't really know about a lot of that stuff because it's all just to bring more relevance to those people. So I don't really
Good
know
point.
about it.
Good point.
I would agree with that. But the other thing, to get back to the question, I'll say this, as a therapist, most of the time the people that they cheat on don't look half as good as the person that they got at home. And so oftentimes it has less to do with looks. Now, sometimes that does happen. And to me, those are usually like those one night stands, those kind of things. But usually the ones that actually turn into full blown affairs, they either look similar or take that back. They don't look similar. They don't look nothing like their wife. You're like, if that's your type, why are you dealing with that? I don't know. So, but at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with her looks. It is all to do with that relationship, if you will. So whether there's something that's missing in their communication, their needs being met, whatever that is, but it has very little to do with how good she look or don't look.
I concur.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is the first thing a woman want to know is what that chick look like. That's the first thing
Absolutely.
they know. And
Absolutely.
then if she happens, so if you're a big woman and the chick is skinny, then you think it's because of your weight. If you prettier than whatever and she not, then you like all messed up. Like women, we are so messed up when it comes to that. They talk about how men can't recover from affairs, which they don't most of the time. They have a harder time because they have not been reared like women have. Like, this is what's to expect. So we expect that. And so even though it messes us up, it tears people up, we expect it. And so we're willing to go into forgiveness on something where men a lot of times are not. They are not. And they never forgive. And they may even stay, but they never forgive, and that relationship never heals.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing to think about how people are conditioned, to think certain ways, certain cultures, certain generations. And maybe I should have gotten into being a therapist too. It looks like there's a lot of people out there that need some help. I could have made some money. But yeah, so let me ask this. And this is going to sound like a silly question, but this is a question that I've heard people ask before. Is there a good reason to cheat?
No.
Who wants to go there? Is there a good reason to cheat?
Do you want me to play devil's advocate or not?
Yeah, go ahead. I like doing it.
We always
good reason
need
to cheat is when you're ready to end your relationship. Now I don't believe, and this is the therapist in me, I don't believe that an affair has to be the end of a relationship. I don't. I think that what it is, it's a symptom of a already sick marriage. And so that means that this is something that's shining the spotlight on the relationship. It's one act to kind of say, hey, kind of like if you got a runny nose, you're like, dang, I must have a cold, right? You start having a fever and body aches, you're like, oh, it's not a cold, it's the flu.
That Rona.
So yeah, it's Corona, right? And so what it does is it shines the light on how do we communicate? How do we get along? Are we meeting each other's needs? Have you betrayed my trust and I don't communicate back with you well? So to me, the only good reason to cheat is when you're ready to walk away. But you can easily say, I'm ready to walk away. But people have a hard time with that. People, I didn't invested a house, a car, 10 years of my life, money. And so they have a hard time ending a relationship. And so they cheat. But that was me being funny. But there is no real good reason to cheat.
Okay. And Lakia chimed in from YouTube and she says, I feel like men and women cheat because a need isn't being met. All
In
right.
some cases, yes.
But
But
Ashley, to sure, what do you all think? Is there ever a good reason to cheat?
No, not to me.
I would say no, but it's funny what Chandra said was you cheat to end a relationship. So that's how my marriage, well, that's kind of what shook up my marriage because he cheated 6 months into the marriage. He was cheating off and on over 11 years. But guess what? Chin up, chest out. I took it, right? Because I'm a wife. And like you said, this is what's expected of men. This is what the men do. So let me figure out what I didn't do that caused him to do that and try to correct it. But then I kept being disrespected in my marriage. Other people kept coming before me, and we were in a cult. And according to them, the only way you could get divorced was adultery. So when he cheated, I did have the right to divorce him at that time. But now, 11 years in, I have no way out. So you can't keep telling me that I'm this, I'm that, don't nobody want me, I'm ugly, I'm fat, whatever. And then somebody start winking at me. So yeah, I cheated to get out of my marriage.
Okay.
But everything has consequences. So
it does.
I will say, listen, that's what my book is about. When you decide to do you, make sure you're ready to accept them consequences that come along with it, because I ended up losing everything, including my children. So yeah.
All right. Buck says lack of communication is what leads to cheating.
I agree.
There's I mean, there's all kind of reasons. The needs not being met, that communication, but the lack of communication comes from the hurts, whatever those are. Like, I didn't feel supported by you. You didn't put me first. And I don't know how to communicate to you that, I'm hurt by the fact that, your boys, your mom, your cousins, your whoever come before me and I'm your wife. There's all these reasons, but it's really, it boils down to these hurts that are not discussed, that's not put out there and resolved. So it's all these unresolved issues, as well as needs not being met. Because the moment I feel like you aren't taking care of me, then I pull back. And then when I notice you pulling back, then I pull back more. And it just becomes a spiraling effect. And then somebody's giving me attention. So that's what I do.
Right. I want to piggyback off something that she said about the communication and all of these hurts and stuff like that. I will say that communication is part of it, but who's receiving the person on the other end that is receiving that message, they may not understand it, like from your level of understanding. Because I know I spoke about it in a couple of my episodes and how 2020 was my year to heal myself and get myself together. So all the while I'm doing that, to heal myself and get better for this man, I didn't know that he was going through or had went through half the stuff that he went through until something happened that he did to me, and it really, really hurt me. And it's like he was trying to deflect everything onto me. And I was like, nah, it's something else. It's something that you're dealing with and you're trying to throw it on me. And I've sat up here and I did a lot of stuff to heal and not bring my past traumas into this relationship. All right. So we did all of that. He thought like women are, we're forgiving. So right now we're in this space where we're kind of like in a different space. Like he's in his own space, I'm in my own space, because he really has to heal, because it keeps bringing us back to this same cycle. And I don't want to get to where I'm losing myself again, because I worked hard to get to where I am, So it's like, it's not only the communication, but you have to make sure that person understands. Like, a lot of people don't speak about sitting down and teaching their partner how to love them. Like, nobody comes into a relationship knowing how to treat you and knowing how to love you correctly. You can't just assume that person knows that. You know, that's when you have to sit down and you have to have those hard conversations and talk about it and be honest about everything.
You're absolutely right. But sometimes to take it a little bit further, we talk about it in terms of that iceberg, right? And so you only see the behavior on the top of the surface, but there's a whole lot that's going on up under the surface. And sometimes that person doesn't even know how to verbalize all of the things that are going on, because you trigger something that happened to them in their childhood or their last relationship, and they don't even have the words to express to you that I'm hurting, or what you did put me in so they jump to survival mode, and whatever that means, they throw up their defenses, whatever it is, they shut down, whatever it is. And they can't necessarily always verbalize that until you take a step back and say, hey, what just happened? Talk to me, because this is what I'm noticing. And if what I'm doing is taking you into a dark place, I need to know that, because I don't know all of the little geysers or pit holes that are under the surface, because we don't have, it could be values, traditions, it could be all kinds of things, experiences, all of that we can't see. We only see how you react to what happened. We don't see what's going on underneath.
Okay. Y'all are good. And Buck says, when you don't share each other's goals and dreams, that can also lead to cheating, to sure chimed in, or when you communicate and they choose not to hear or honor what you've shared. Duriel, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Duriel says, yeah, Miss Lady, you can talk all day, but if you speak French and they speak Ebonics, in other words, you got to be able to understand what you're saying to each other. So that makes sense right there for sure. All right. Well, I don't know if there's ever a good reason to cheat or not. I've always looked at cheating as just a person who is, I guess, too cowardly to walk away from a relationship. So you step out because you don't want to lose that security or whatever. I mean, in a lot of cases, because everybody can just go do what they want to do if they're single. So if you're single, you can go do what you want to do, but because you don't want to lose that, that blanket, that comforting blanket at home that you got, you decide you're going to try to sneak and do it and come back. And so, All right, we'll go ahead and get to our meme of the week and we'll wrap this thing up. And so, meme of the week. Ladies, you met a guy and you want to date him. His ex calls and wants to fill you in on her experience with him. Are you taking the call? All right. So, who do I want to start with first? I'm going to start with Ashley. I'm going to throw her on the spot. Would you accept info on a new boo from that person's ex?
Me? No. I want to have my own experience with somebody, because mine is going to be different from yours. He's not going to, I don't believe a person goes into different relationships or situationships or whatever you want to call it, partnerships, treating the same people, different people the same way. I may be somebody that can reach him on a different level than how you reached him. So I'm not going to accept the call. I don't want to form an opinion about somebody before I even get to know them, first of all. And then if you're bringing me something, I'm going to feel like, you still want this person, so they can't be that bad. So you saw the potential in them. I'm going to take what I get from somebody and go with that. I'm not accepting that call. It's just a bunch of mess and drama on the other end.
Okay.
I'm not
all right. Dominique chimed in. YouTube said, no, this is a new chapter. And Duriel got this in on the last topic. He said you cheat in spades and dominoes.
We ain't cheating in no bones and no spades. Not at all.
Oh boy. Chandra, you taking that call from the ex about your new boo?
So I'm this me being funny, but I don't know that I'll take the call then, but I'll take your number because I might need to call you later. Because there is some truth to that. So yeah, I don't want you to corrupt my experience, but then I'm like, if you start noticing some shit, you could be like, hey girl, let me talk to you now. So I may not talk to you when you call me because it's too new, and I ain't trying to, cloud my judgment. I have some confirmation bias. Now you got me looking for that stuff where, if I didn't know, I wouldn't be looking for it, right? But after, I might have, well, first of all, how you get my number? How you get my number to call me? Because then that tell me that you and him still chitter-chatting.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't got my number. You didn't got my number from him. Now it's a difference if you instant message me, but if you
see how quickly
me,
she put on that CSI cap.
I'm just saying. You got to think about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you get my number?
That's true.
You got my number because either you still paying his phone bill, or that joke coming over there visiting you, and you checking his phone. So he's still creeping. You got to think about that stuff.
All right. Tashura, would you accept the call?
So me and Chandra like this, you know what I'm saying? Because the first thing I wrote down was how she get my number. Okay. Number 2 is the man he was with you may not be the man he is with me. Your experience with him is yours.
Mm-hmm.
My experience with him is my experience. However, the fact that you called me though, how you get my number? See, all that other stuff that went out the window. Because like she said, either y'all still dealing, you paying his phone bill, or you might just be like me and you get access to certain stuff, but I ain't gonna say nothing. But anyway,
but we just started dating. So how you get my number if we just started dating?
Right. So you have to be
something about that telling me, that there's some stuff still going on, and that's why, like I told you before, I don't date nobody if they got kids under the age of 3. You know what I'm saying? Because there's still a whole lot of mess going on.
I don't date nobody with kids under the age of 18.
I've been like that since I was in my 20s, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Even when I was in my 20s, if your child was 3 years old or younger, I don't.
Yep.
We can be friends. We can't even be those kind of friends because there's still too much going on between you and that person. Yeah, the kid's
still under warranty.
They got that baby boy going on, that Jody. I'm going to see the baby, and next thing you know, that nigga wake up the next day,
and they got another baby on the way.
Boom. Been there, done that. Not doing it again, especially at 48.
So,
all right. L'Oreal said the ex is FBI or CIA. Yeah.
Or she's just
like.
Or she's a stalker. So I'm worried about my safety now. Because if you can get my number, you might be able to get my home address. And at that point, I just don't even want to deal with you no more. I don't even want to deal with you. I know that's wrong, but hey, that's the company you keep. I can still judge you by the company you keep.
Exactly.
All right. Well, look, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will shut this thing down with our final thoughts.
Hey, my brothers and sisters. This is Ashley D, also known as the Sensible Sister. Sensible Sister is an online candle shop where we specialize in making natural, handmade scented candles. Our mission is to bring joy to our customers' lives through fragrance. Our scent choices are chosen through studies we research to find scents that will calm the mind, body, and soul. Every product is specifically handmade and scented to bring your mind to a place of serenity. Check us out at www.sensiblesister.com and follow us on Facebook at Sensible Sister LLC. And always remember, there is no such thing as having too many candles.
All right. Be sure to check out her website, and she got quite a few options over there. You're going to end up with a lot of candles. I'm telling you that right now. So let me bring everyone back, and we'll go ahead and get to our final thoughts. And Buck said, "Y'all killing me over here." All right, so we will get to our final thoughts. Wrap things up. Older men, younger women. A stalking ex who wants to give you the tea on your new boo, and is it ever a situation where someone's too attracted to be cheated on. You don't have to hit all of them, but it's just anything in particular you want to, give some final thoughts or something you may want to add to the topic, then feel free to go ahead. And Chandra, I'll start with you first, if you don't mind.
Final thoughts. I think for me, it's really about taking care of yourself, honestly, knowing what you want and what you're willing to accept and not accept, and holding true to that. And so then, you're not changing who you are to be with somebody only to find out that, he cheating on you, even though you did all this work to look a certain way and he still cheat on you and whatever. So you have to love thyself. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's where it has to start, and know your worth, and, and be true to yourself, man. Like that is so important, because there are way too many people accepting any old thing just to have a little something. So.
All right. Good stuff. I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Tashura, what you got?
Okay, so my final thoughts. I wrote them down so I can stay focused. I am my only competition. What's for me is for me. I will remain a Proverbs 31 woman, gleaning and not conform to be a Shaniqua 4.0.
Shaniqua 4.0.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that extracurricular. I'm not wearing 3-inch lashes, 10-inch nails. I'm not gonna have no baby hairs. Well, I do get my baby hairs laid down tomorrow, but I'm not gonna have no baby hairs down here and get my body done trying to compete with this younger generation, because whoever they is, say this is how we need to look to get a man. The man that's for me, he'll find me. But until then, I'm working.
Okay. And Duriel said you can have both gorgeous and sane. And yeah, you can find it.
You can.
It exists. It exists. Just have to pay attention. And Ashley, shut it down for me, please.
Well, I just want to say, ladies, if you're going to get your body done, do it because you want to do it. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for other people. Don't do it to compete. The biggest person on Live and Let Live. I don't judge you, but however, if you don't love yourself first, like Chandra said, I mean, there's no point in getting that body done, because the guy's not gonna do. Well, a man gonna do what a man gonna do.
Right. He gonna use that body.
Right. He gonna use.
Put some miles on it.
That's right.
It ain't gonna stop
Turn
him
it
from
in.
stepping out if he want to step out.
You gonna put some miles on it and trade it in.
Look, right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Some
So that's
miles
why you
on
gotta
it
take
and
care of
trade it
yourself,
in.
man. You gotta love yourself first, and know your worth. Know your worth.
What I've been doing lately, I don't know. Like, I know it's been said a number of times, but I will say it really does help. Like, I do go to the gym a lot more now. I've been going for the last 3 months, and I will say, like, my problem areas. I said, I look my waist, I want my waist back and forth. But I will say I do this. I stand in front of the mirror after I get out of the shower, and I name the things that I love about myself. And I'm starting to embrace the body that I have a lot more now. My confidence has gone up. So if that helps anybody, do it. Like, stand in front of the mirror, just name out things that you do not like about yourself and say that you love that about yourself, and everything, your mindset will change it. Like, your mindset has to change before anybody else can accept you for you.
Except
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, because confidence is attractive. It really is.
Yep.
A lot of people don't believe that. It really is.
Absolutely.
So. All right. Well, look, ladies, I appreciate you all taking part in this all women panel for me. This is What Women Thinks, Volume 4, about older men and younger women. And me personally, I dated someone 9 years younger than me once. I was 43. She was like 33 and a half or something. And she was very mature for her age. She really was, but we just didn't work out. You can't have two know-it-alls, right? But I guess when it never really hit me about the difference until just basic conversations that I would have with someone my age was a little kind of off with her. You know, I grew up watching Sanford and Son, and she didn't know much about Sanford and Son, you know. And so I guess I kind of started to notice things, but that wasn't a reason. But the point I'm trying to make is like me personally, I've always wanted to be somewhere around 5 years, no more than
Mhm.
like maybe 5 years younger or 5 years older or something like that, because I don't know. I just think that people need to embrace getting older. And my generation
Mhm.
despises, you know, getting older. 60s and 70s babies and early 80s babies. It's like it terrifies them to get older, you know? And so just embrace it, because a lot of people ain't getting old. People are getting killed left and right. You know, stuff is just
Mm-hmm.
crazy happening all over the country. And it's okay if you have a little bit of gray, okay if you have a little wrinkle or something like that. Just that's why I love about like Tashura's hair. She lets that gray show. That's wisdom. You know,
Mm-hmm.
see, that's maturity. That's attractive to me. And so it may not be for everyone, and that's fine. But there's
Mhm.
going to be someone who fits what you're looking for, and you fit what they're looking for. Just be patient and pay attention. All right. Don't get blinded by the bright lights over here trying to be like the, you know, the giraffe eyelashes and big booties, and then you end up missing your blessing because you can't see out those eyelashes. All right.
You
So
look like Snuffleupagus.
yeah, so I just want, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to necessarily knock people who wear the eyelashes. I'm just saying that some people do it for the wrong reasons, so to speak.
Mhm.
So just be patient, pay attention, and if it's for you, then it'll happen. All right. And
Amen.
I appreciate you all joining the show. Remember, you can go to talktoq.com, search for me online, hashtag talk to Q. I'm on all things social media, talk to Q. Just Google me. And we'll see you all in a little
Ooh.
bit. You all take care. All right.
Bye.
And where's my closing music?